One of the enemy leaders realizes the impending danger, panic setting in as he tries to escape. But it's too late. Blood splatters through the air as the enemy is thrown back, unable to withstand the sheer power of the attack. As he falls, the enemy leader stares in disbelief. He never imagined that Lu Fang's strength could reach such terrifying heights. His last thoughts are filled with regret and confusion. Why was Lu Fang so powerful, so unfathomable? The battlefield is filled with screams as the enemy forces crumble. One of the enemy leaders, heavily wounded, cries out in agony, pleading for help. Blood pours from his body as he desperately reaches toward his allies, but no one dares to intervene. War Mage, barely holding on, finally understands the true strength of a dragon master. He regrets ever provoking Lu Fang. His body is torn apart by the overwhelming force, vanishing into the destruction he once thought he controlled. As the dust settles, a single hand lies motionless on the ground, the last remnant of a battle that had already been decided the moment Lu Fang transformed. One of Lu Fang's last remaining enemies crashes to the ground, bloodied and defeated. His body is broken, and his strength is completely drained. Lu Fang, standing tall, his aura still blazing, looks down at him with an unreadable expression. The defeated man doesn't beg for mercy. He knows there's no escape. However, he reminds his enemy of what he had said before: the war wouldn't end with a single death. Even with this battle won, there are greater threats ahead. With his final words, the enemy closes his eyes, accepting his fate. The battle is over, but for Lu Fang, this is only the beginning. The fallen enemy stares up at Lu Fang, fear creeping into his eyes as he realizes what's coming. He struggles to speak, demanding to know what Lu Fang is about to do. Lu Fang raises his blade, his aura turning a deep crimson. He doesn't just want to end this fight, he wants his enemy to witness the destruction of everything he stood for. With one final declaration, Lu Fang prepares to strike, ensuring that every last remnant of his enemy's faction will be erased. Lu Fang stood still, holding his blade tightly. Blood dripped slowly from the weapon. His companions surrounded him. One checked on another girl to see if she was okay. Another questioned how all 5 guardian heroes of the Qin Empire could have died so easily. There was concern about whether they should quickly clean up the scene before anyone else arrived. The situation felt unreal. Who would dare wipe out the Empire's strongest protectors? Lu Fang suddenly broke the silence with a confident smirk. Everyone turned to him in shock. One girl, realizing what he might be thinking, reacted nervously, unable to believe he was even considering what it sounded like. A monster roar echoed through the forest as a beast, radiating violent purple energy, erupted in fury. Meanwhile, one of the enraged warriors stepped forward with rage in his voice. He couldn't forgive the massacre of so many from his dragon nation. Surrounded by the reawakened figures of the so-called dead heroes, each glowing with the same eerie aura, he stood firm. These were the very 5 guardians others had assumed were gone forever. Just then, a powerful battalion charged forward from the horizon. A knight in shining armor led the cavalry. The armored knight leading the cavalry narrowed his eyes as he noticed something unusual ahead. At the same time, a massive swirling portal opened elsewhere. Cloaked figures stood before it. One of them was surprised that all of the higher-ups had gathered at the same time, something extremely rare. Suddenly, a knight rushed in to deliver urgent news. He knelt before the cloaked leaders and informed them that the Dragon Nation had discovered the destruction of their transmission node. As a result, powerful figures from various regions had already been dispatched toward the border. One of the knights arrived late to the battlefield, frustrated at his own delay. Judging from the aftermath, he assumed that Lu Fang had already been taken down. But as he stepped forward and questioned who dared to go against the Dragon Nation, his eyes locked onto a figure standing calmly in the dust. Lu Fang, very much alive. The knight was stunned to see him still breathing. Rage boiled over as he raised his spear, shouting for Lu Fang to be killed immediately. Behind him stood the resurrected guardians, cloaked in shadowy power, as if ready to face anything that came their way. Just as the knight lunged forward to strike Lu Fang, a powerful energy blast struck him mid-air, sending shockwaves through the battlefield. The soldiers nearby panicked and shouted for their commander. Meanwhile, another dark figure emerged with a female warrior by his side. Mysterious purple tentacles lashed out violently, spreading chaos across the battlefield. One of the enemy leaders was alarmed, recognizing the arrival of a powerful foe. The injured commander tried to stand, supported by his soldiers who checked if he was all right. But before they could regroup, the tentacles went wild, grabbing. The battlefield was quickly turning into a nightmare, and panic spread fast as the real fight had only just begun. One of the knights, now trapped by the dark tentacles, looked up in disbelief. He couldn't understand why someone from their own side was attacking them. Lu Fang, standing beside one of the cloaked figures, casually revealed the truth. These powerful warriors, once feared enemies, were now completely under his control. With a smirk, Lu Fang pulled back the figure's hood, revealing a once respected man now reduced to a hollow puppet under his command. Furious and unable to hold back, another knight roared in rage and charged at Lu Fang, accusing him of killing one of their leaders. But Lu Fang didn't flinch. He was calm. As one of the corrupted guardians stood ready, Lu Fang casually mentioned that if his servant, Jin, were still alive, he could have endured a few more blows. Without hesitation, the axe-wielding giant, now loyal to Lu Fang, slammed down a brutal strike on the charging knight, sending him crashing to the ground. Lu Fang calmly asked the knight what exactly he thought he had that could possibly challenge him. The knight, buried in rubble, struggled to breathe. His pride was shattered, and so was his body. The injured knight, still breathing but wrapped in dark tentacles, began to panic. Lu Fang's allies were holding him tightly, and the pressure was rising. Lu Fang calmly stepped forward and gave him a final chance: speak the truth, or face the consequences. With no other option, he finally broke down and began to talk, trembling. He stammered at first, but as the grip tightened, he swore by the heavens to tell everything truthfully. Lu Fang and his team stood watching silently, while the corrupted guardian ensured the captive wouldn't lie this time. The battered knight, now stripped of his armor and suspended by dark tentacles, confessed everything he knew. He had no more strength to resist. Hearing the truth, Lu Fang's companions were shocked. It turned out the enemy nation hadn't just sent elite guardian heroes after Lu Fang, but even deployed 2 full royal army units. Meanwhile, others discussed their next move. Since the teleportation array was destroyed, it wouldn't be easy to escape or reinforce. They noted that the location was extremely far from the Dragon Nation, and a dangerous war camp was stationed nearby. Lu Fang quickly analyzed the situation. Random teleport scrolls couldn't send them far, and they needed to act before the enemy forces caught up. Their top priority now was to locate his missing teacher before it was too late. After revealing everything he knew, the defeated knight pleaded to be spared, hoping his cooperation would earn mercy. But the response was merciless. Without hesitation, the dark tentacles pierced through his body. He let out a final scream of betrayal, realizing too late that there was never going to be mercy. Blood trickled from his nose as he stared at Lu Fang in shock, accusing him of breaking his promise. But Lu Fang reminded him that he had never agreed to spare him. If he let someone like him live, how could he face the fallen warriors of the Dragon Nation? At the same time, far from the battlefield, a mysterious red energy streaked across the sky and descended into a heavily guarded military base. This was the War God Corps camp. Inside the command center, officers were discussing the situation confidently. One of them believed that once reinforcements from the Dragon Nation arrived, Lu Fang would already be captured by their superior, Jin. Elsewhere in the facility, a masked figure surrounded by dark energy began to stir. He overheard the arrogant words spoken about Lu Fang and showed no emotion, but the rising energy around him suggested that something dangerous was about to be unleashed.
This is the end of the video. If you guys want to see the next part, then don't forget to subscribe and like the video.